Well, that was heavy. I figure I've already made one video about Emiru, and apparently a second Emiru vid has hit the towers, so might as well strike while the iron is hot, as it were. Uh, just for context, I don't have much context. I primarily watch VTubers in my spare time because I've essentially replaced watching boring old TV with, silly anime girls on the internet doing cute and or psychotic things, as one does in the year of our Lord 2025. So I only very tangentially know who Emiru is, uh, basically from crossover with other VTubers, Bow and whatnot. And I know even less about this Mizkif guy. The only real contact I've had with him, so to say, is that collab he did back in the summer with Fillion. And there was like two videos, one of which was just yapping, the other one watching, anime intros. And the vibe I got from him was that he can be quite funny and witty, and he's entertaining. Uh, but especially in that first video, he just came across like such a desperate sad sack. Like just a guy who wants you to kiss him because of how pathetic he is. Which, I mean, I maybe it works. I mean, if it's worked for him in the past, well, why wouldn't he try it again? Has it worked for him in the past? I don't know. Uh, But with this new context that Emiru's given us, assuming she's telling the truth, which she seems credible, and she brought some receipts, which does sort of back up her side of the story, especially with the last several months where they've been effectively no contact. But how should I put this? Streamers kind of have a type, right? The successful ones. They have to be just a little bit weird in order to want to be in that sort of environment and then to thrive in it. And like I'm going to say both of them are atypical people. They're not, ordinary Joe Schmoes because they have millions of people who know who they are, thousands, tens, whatever thousand, of people watching them on a regular basis, uh, and making a living off of it. But apparently, it doesn't quite pay well enough for you to be able to afford rent on your own house in the middle of a really high cost of living place like major cities in Texas. So they all end up like cohabitating and living in very close contact with each other. And like I said in the Beetle video, uh, people generally tend to pair off with people who are within their same relative sphere and their own like social groups. They're both in a social group together. It kind of makes sense that two streamers are going to start dating. Kind of weird that they kept it secret for, I'm guessing, just viewership reasons and whatnot. Now, on the one hand, yeah, I think I'll let that one go, but you probably can tell where I'm going with that one. Uh, Now, there is the possibility that Emiru is just making it up for clout. I mean, she got a lot of extra clout because of the whole TwitchCon thing, and probably rightly so. So it might seem opportunistic that she's coming out with these new allegations immediately after everyone gave her all this support, sympathy, and put all these eyes on her. But she did make a good point that she's got real emotional at the end of that road trip she was taking, and she said she was going to be talking about some things very soon. So in the business, they call this foreshadowing, as Count Dankula would say. Love that guy, by the way. Uh, so I'm not ready to just throw Miz under the bus. He might just be bad around women, and maybe she's blowing it out of proportion and all this, other various apologia that you could drop. But I'm gonna say right now, I do find her very credible. It checks out. There's been some rumblings about this in places, as she pointed out, and stuff happening in the background of streams, etc., etc. It tracks. It's certainly a thing that could reasonably happen if you have a particularly mentally unstable individual who's got some sort of cluster B personality. I know we associate cluster B personality stuff with women, like bipolar and a histrionic disorder. You've got basically bipolar or something like that. Men can have those too. Like it's not unique to women. That sort of basically psychological mental illness, if you will, or that personality type, if you're being generous. So, I mean, Mizkif has a way out of this. All he has to do is have some really good receipts. Problem is that Emiru has brought some receipts. Presumably, she has more. We'll see if those are even more incriminating. I didn't pause the video and read through all the various DMs and whatnot that he sent her, but it does track out that they don't seem to have had any sort of contact since about early this year. And I'm just going to point out that in the time frame where Mizkif was presumably trying multiple underhanded ways of getting them back together, he was at the same time, the one time I've seen him, he was collabing with Fillion. And what was he doing? He was acting like a sad little puppy, calling her stuff like the one that got away, saying, oh, this could have been us. And if that was I think it was like early September, late August or something like that. And if at the same time he's hitting on someone that he did, in fairness, play a part in bringing her up, and he did also sort of help bring Emiru up, got her into OTK and whatnot. And if they're both now more popular than him, because my understanding is that at some point he fell off, he had other various allegations of these kind against him that apparently didn't quite sink him. Well, I mean, like I said, bring the receipts. I mean, Cinder's back. I mean, her last 1,000-page Google docu, it didn't completely clear her, and especially her boyfriend/manager redacted, Red, or as they call him, I guess. But apparently not enough people care to keep Cinder from having an audience still. And it turns out she's not quite as bad a person as everyone seemed to think she was. Not completely innocent in that regard, but she kind of did probably get a little bit more hate than she probably deserved. I'm going to say that much. I mean, I wish her well. Maybe she can change as a person, get better, but this is about Emiru, not Cinder. So I'll just cut it off there, keep this under 10 minutes. I'm just going to say I think Emiru's probably telling the truth in what little way I can, as nobody in the middle of bumblefuck, Midwest can do, which is basically nothing. But I have her back for the time being. If Miz wants to survive this, he's either going to have to just post through it and ignore it and hope that people don't care, or he's going to need to bring les receipts. And I don't really have anything more witty to say, so I'm just going to cut this off. Have a good one, guys. Guy, probably. One guy who's going to watch this.